Welcome to yet another episode of Earthtones Live. I think they're chanting. Hey, done, hey, done, hey, done, hey, done, hey, done, hey, done. That's what they're chanting Aiden. Because Aiden, my intern from my guitar's ringing. It ain't ringing no more. How's everybody doing? We told you we'd be back. Hey now, we got some people waving and some people watching. I'm just glad to see there's a few people watching. Y'all must be extremely bored on a Wednesday night at 7 p.m. to tune in and watch us sit here and press buttons and play with gadgets and all that stuff. So
we've got at least a few returners.
A few returners. That's good. Who's a lot of times it says Facebook user and we don't know who it is. Or
Mr. Terry V says, "Here we go again. Get it." Mm-hmm. We've got good news for him.
We got good news for Terry V. Guess what, Terry V? This is the Leslie pedal that I have told you all about. And I'm going to even let Abraham play it tonight. I'm not even going to play it because it's so good. I've got to let somebody else do it. So this week we got all sorts of good stuff. And we're not going to waste any time getting to it as I lean over and pick up my paper.
Somebody says they just unboxed a 30-inch scale Firefly offset baritone.
Woo! Who did?
Woo! Facebook user.
Good Lord. Just unboxed a 30-inch scale. All right. You got to see the new... I did get to see the new pup. Okay, so you guys are keeping up with me. That's good,
Ironically enough, that's coming from Eric Gale.
Eric Gale. Yeah, right? Eric Gale. The singular Eric Gale. So this week we have a couple of things that we're going to cover. The first thing I'm going to cover is I was so glad to see if you guys saw this past week I posted. It was pretty cool. I feel like I need to get right up on this mic again. I feel like I'm just yelling into the room. So what did that not do anything? Oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't get. I'm not allowed to press the buttons. All right. So this past week was the Super Bowl. Super Bowl. You know, that was pretty good. It was all right. It was a good game. Haiti came down to a field goal and a controversial call, but we'll not get into how controversial the call was or anything like that. But good game, and we had some people over to the house, and it was cool. And I'm in this fantasy football league that I've been in for, I swear to you, I have to have been in it for probably 30 years. And way back before we had, the internet that kept score for fantasy football and all that. So we used to keep score out of the USA Today. So I've been in this fantasy football league with some great friends of mine from my former career. And it was awesome. So anyway, what I'm getting at is I won some money. I won $40. I won $40 this week. This season, I did. I won 4 weeks, and I came from last place. I thought I was going to last place, and I was battling out for anywhere from 4th to 2nd place. But my wife got 2nd place, and she beat me, and she beat him too. So you know what they're chanting now? You know what they're chanting now. Mama, mama, leftovers. Leftovers. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, I won $40 in my fantasy football league, and I very rarely ever have cash in my pocket. Like, everybody becomes like, we become such a payment app society that I don't have cash in my pocket. So I had $40 cash. I was like, man, I got myself an idea. For the show this week, I'm going to walk into, and I posted it on the old interwebs, and I said I'm going to walk into a store, and my favorite used pedal store is the Music Go Round. Not my favorite one, but just the one that I can pass on the way to work.
Or I don't know.
It's pretty good. There's a lot of used pedals in there. But what you'll find about used pedals nowadays is they're really, really, really inexpensive. Some of them, and people go like, it's a cheap pedal. But what we started to see is there's a lot of circuits that get ripped off from people. And once you rip them off, and they're out there, and you can find, 1,000 machines to make them instantaneously. You even have Amazon brand pedals, which is crazy. So I thought to myself, I'm going to go in, and I'm going to spend $40 on a pedal, and I'm going to play it on the show this week. And I don't know what it was. I pulled in, and I walked in, and I took a bunch of pictures of a bunch of different pedals, and I thought, man, there were some that were like 45, and there were a few that were 49, and some that were 59, and I had that 40, and I was like, I said I was going to spend $40 on a pedal. So we'll get to that part of the show here in just a little bit, because we're not going to play any guitar pedals yet.
We've got a few comments rolling in.
All right.
In regards to the Firefly offset baritone, it was Heaton. Heaton.
Oh, yeah. Well, good.
So Heaton did that. Mark Miller says, good to see you guys. Awesome intro music.
Hey, thank you. I wrote that song all by myself.
Somebody says, Owen at Music Go Round is awesome.
Oh, Owen at Music Go Round? All right, that's cool. They got some good guys. They got a cart full of pedals back there that were in the back when I came in. And, what is the guy's name that is there? The other guy, tall guy, used to work at Bad Axe. Gosh, I can't remember his name. I'm the worst at names. I'm the worst at names, but I'm just the worst at remembering stuff lately. But anyway, can't remember his name. No, wait a minute. Anyway, so he's got a whole cart full of pedals, right? Aiden, would you do me a huge favor? Yeah. Would you grab my phone? It's right over there, and the only reason I just need it to look at my calendar to see what I did. Everybody say hi to Aiden. Hi, Aiden. All right.
While you're doing that,
yeah,
we'll say Rod Bettini wants to know what guitar you're playing.
Well, that would be your guitar, Rod Bettini. I am playing Rodney Bettini's. Actually, Rodney Bettini swears that this is his guitar every time he comes over, and he says, "You still got my gold top, don't you?" So this is a 1999 gold top Gibson Les Paul Deluxe, and it will be. It has the mini humbuckers in it, which are smaller than your regular size humbuckers. And I replaced the bridge one with a Seymour Duncan. It's called a Seymour-ized Mini. And I bought it off the interwebs, and I paid a man to put it in. I don't think I put it in myself. I might have put it in myself, but I don't think I did. Gibsons, they're super simple guitars, but when you start taking the back plates off and you see all the wiring for their three-way switch, you're like, there's 3 positions on this switch, and there's way too many wires to think that that's just a 3 position. So I'm not going to unsolder anything, or I'm going to mess it all up. So I probably took it to somebody how to put it. Anyway, so it's my Les Paul. And we are both tuned down a half step today because things sound mean. Things sound Betty mean when you are tuned down a half step. All right. So yes, Eric Gale says that I got to meet the dog this morning. So, unless anybody didn't see LaDonna's post this morning, her and Eric came in and we worked on some stuff. And if you see, I don't know if anybody can see. Let me flip to this other. I don't know. I'm probably sitting in the way of them. You can't even see them. I thought they'd be so massive behind me. There's a big stack of Mark bass cabinets sitting behind me with the big yellowish orange cones. You guys know Mark Bass. Anybody know Mark Bass stuff? Yeah. So Mark Bass has a guitar side to their company called DV Mark. I probably said all this last week. If I did, please stop me, somebody. or throw something at me, Aiden, if I covered this last week. I'll just do it real quick. Mark Bass is owned by a guy named Marco. I think we even went over that. And DV Mark is the side of the company that covers guitar stuff. Mark Bass is all the bass stuff. So we're going to do some demo videos with someone who shall remain nameless, but is a DV Mark. No, we're going to do some demo videos with Eric this week for DV Mark and for Mark Bass stuff. And we have a bunch of gear that got shipped in here from Italy of theirs and some cool basses. I don't want to show them yet because I want Eric to be able to premiere them on the videos. But really cool stuff from Mark Bass. Awesome stuff. And I mean, solid. What's crazy is you can pick those cabinets up. LaDonna came in here today and Eric said, pick it up. And she was like, get out of the way. I'll pick it up. She went, whoop. And it's like they make a box, this big, that's got four, 2 12s or 4 10s or 2 15s, something like that. I don't know if you can see if I get out of the way. Let me get this shot.
I can grab one.
You can grab one? Well, they're light enough.
Anybody can grab one.
So, what happens with this? What happens with the Mark Bass stuff is they have these neodyme magnets or something like that in the speakers, and it makes everything super light. And the boxes that have the speakers in them, the speaker cabinets have the boxes in them. I don't even know how they even make the boxes that light, but it's incredibly light. I mean, honestly, Abraham could probably pick it up over his head and press it. Honestly. So he just moved that one out of the way like it's a cardboard box. And this is that's a 115 with a horn. Yeah. And that's a pretty massive bass cabinet. If you were to pick that up, an Ampeg, anybody ever have the old 810 Ampeg refrigerator cabinet? Man, it had a handle. It had a stainless steel handle on the back of it and 2 big casters to kick it back and roll it because you weren't going to pick it up. Even if you sawed it in half, you couldn't pick it up. So anyway, these are killer. So we're going to do some videos sometime in the near future for that. And Eric and LaDonna came by this morning, and they brought their brand new. Are you ready for this? Their brand new teacup poodle. But the best part is his name. His name is Crown. And I was like, yes, that would happen to be the name of the Grammy-nominated Eric Gales record that Eric Gales recorded little pieces of in here. But that's right. Da-na-na-na-na, Grammy-nominated. But we didn't win, but it's okay. Because once you're nominated, you're sort of in the club, and I'm excited, and we're both just flipping out. Everybody on that whole thing, flipping out. Anyway, so I got to meet Crown this morning, and he was a trip. He's great. He's like literally, I could hold him in the palms of my 2 hands like this. Like I was like, oh my goodness! Like it was like I was afraid I was going to break him. He's so small. So anyway, yes, Eric Gale. I did get to meet the dog. He's very, very precious.
Somebody said that EVH guitar your boys got is sweet.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. That's that. When I say things are mine, of course, a lot of the stuff in here is mine. So there's your. Hold on a minute. Let me get it. Yeah, man, you can angle. See it. There it is. It's right there. That's a great angle. Just leave it right there. So the trick to that guitar is that it's the only one that they made. I don't know if that's the Korean made or not, but it's flat. It's flat top like a Telly, which I kind of like. I'm not crazy about, even though these Les Pauls are arched, I'm not crazy about arch top guitars. Flat guitar. Flat guitar. That's a flat guitar. And the pickups, I am not kidding you. They are the greatest sounding rock pickups ever in the history of man. The greatest. And, yeah, I mean, just the greatest. And this is the Peavey. This is the Peavey Wolfgang. So don't sleep on those Peavey Wolfgangs. Anything that Eddie Van Halen had anything to do with was made like solid as a rock. So
even my Stripe series, what is it? Made in Mexico?
Yeah,
Made in Mexico Stripe series is like one of the best playing and sounding guitars I own.
So he got away from that guitar for a little while because he had some other ones, and the newest guitar is always your favorite one, right?
Sure.
So he's got a
floral.
floral.
That was my first one. First one I bought with my own money.
Yeah.
Black and white Stripe series.
That one's right over there, I think. Yep. So So we just kind of walk in to do this thing, and honestly, it's like looks like a big production, but we just kind of go like, "Hey, what do you want to play? I don't know. What do you want to get? I don't know. What do you want to get?" So he said, I might play the Wolfgang." I was like, "Perfect." He said, "Is it tuned a half step down?" And I said, "Maybe not, but it should be."
It is now.
And it is now. So we weren't in different keys. I'm tuned a half step down now too. So, all right. So let's look at what we did in the studio this week and talk about some things. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Or since last week. Yeah, we went live last Wednesday, right? So Thursday, I worked on. Oh, okay. So Thursday, I finished mixing a Nick Clark record with Mr. Charlie Hunter. We finished mixing that, and all the mixes are stellar sounding, if I do say so myself. And they're awesome. And when you just follow the lead of somebody like that, they can normally steer you into the right places to go. So I got steered into the right place to go with these mixes, and I'm tickled to death with them, and they sound good, and the label loves them, and they sound good. So we sent them all out yesterday. They'll be mastered, and I'm not exactly sure when that record will come out. This is where there's like a sort of a disconnect sometimes when you finish working on a record and you send it off, especially with a label involved. You just don't know, and the label can wait till another quarter to release it. They kind of look at their books. They look at like the marketing, and that's the really cool part is when a lot of musicians that come in here and work are independent, so they're releasing things on their own. And I mean, people do silly things like schedule their own CD release party before they have a CD. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even finished with mixes yet, and they're like, "Well, we got to have it mixed by this date because the CD release party's on this date." And I'm like, "Boss, you don't schedule a party till you got a CD in your hand." So anyway, people do stuff like that, and I understand. People get excited about records, and especially when you're releasing them. But when you work with labels, you see how the scheduling of a project is really super important to people. They just don't randomly do it, and they don't release things. They put a lot of money into those records, so they don't release things like immediately. Let's just get it out as soon as possible. It's like there's no hurry to that because there has to be a calculated plan, and that's where the business of everything comes in. They look at what other records in those genres are being released that quarter, and labels think in quarters. You know, you think like, okay, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter of the year, physically or whatever. And they're going to release those things in the quarters where maybe they got a shot at being in the Billboard Top 10, where if they had 5 other records in that genre that were being released the same quarter and they know they're going to get the floor, you know, they're going to wipe the floor with them, then they're going to maybe push it back. And that happens sometimes. And you'll see, you know, press about, you know, records like, you know, like Hysteria, you know, and whatever that Guns N' Roses record was. That I love that record. It was called Chinese Democracy. Oh, yeah. They take a long time to make. Those are problems with making them, but you know, then once you get them all made, you have to kind of figure out how are we going to release this thing. And it's nice to work with labels because number one, I'm not, or the artist is not in charge of releasing anything. So nothing, all the pressure of making the record and getting the record out is kind of gone. You know, it's really not a lot of pressure to any of that stuff to me, but anyway, so people do that, and so this label is called Little Village Records, going to be putting out the Nick Clark record, and I don't know, man, it could be 2 months, and it could be 6 months. It just depends on what quarter they want to release it in, and when they think they can get the best push for this record in the sort of genres that it is, but it's a really, really, really killer record, and we finished mixing that last Thursday, and then the same day, that morning, before I mixed that record, that morning, and I'm going to see if Abraham can put the link to this in the chat. We're going to try. So we're working on a lot of stuff. So there's a chat thing over here that we see through Restream where we see all your comments from YouTube and from Facebook and Instagram all congregated into one thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him to see if he can share a link to, oh, you just pulled it up on there.
I didn't know I could do that.
Didn't know you could do that either. That's a little scary.
Now I do know. I know.
Now we do know.
Cool.
Hey, and it's showing everything. Whoa.
Cool.
That's crazy. And that's even better because that's showing where it's, no, never mind.
No, this is
that's just where it's all going to, right? Okay, cool. So we're figuring this all out on our own as we go. But,
cool.
So go into...
And I can view the chat here. I'll just keep this up so I can see everything.
Okay.
Figuring it out.
What did Rob Bettini say? He said that Stripe guitar is mine too?
Uh-huh.
Of course it is. So could you fit Rob Bettini, would you have to bring a work truck over to fit the gold top and the striped guitar in it, or could you think you could fit it in your car? I don't know, man. I mean, that's a lot of horsepower to be carrying around in a little car. You better bring something serious. So see if you can go to YouTube.
Yep.
As I speak about this. So the trailer is out now, so the cat will be out of the bag per se. There's a lot of stuff that I work on for TV and film where we sign these things called NDAs. They're called non-disclosure agreements, and you can't talk about them while you work on them because there's a privacy thing and all that good stuff. And so there is a new show that I wrapped working on my end and on the actress's end that came in and did her ADR lines last week, and it is called The Power. And it's going to be it's gonna premiere on Amazon Prime on it's going to premiere on Amazon Prime the 31st of March. So it's a pretty cool show. I don't know if it's necessarily geared towards teenagers, but it's about you'll just have to watch the trailer and see. It's pretty cool. These 4 girls develop the power to actually electrocute people at will, and so the power has all these meanings to it, right? Because they're girls, they can take over the world, and it's really, really, really cool. So Abraham's going to share that in the comments. So if you guys want to go check that out, Haley Bush is the actress's name, and she lives here. She was 16 when she shot the show. It was her first audition, and she's really killer. She's awesome. She plays Allie, I think. I think Allie is the character's name. Really one of the main 4. That's legit work, my dude. Yes, sir. Legit. Hey, you're on my TV. Is that Mark Scarborough? Am I on your TV? Scrabby on Scrabby TV. So anyway, Amazon Prime, we wrapped on that last Thursday. And when I say we wrapped, we've been working on this show over a year and a half. It had Tim Robbins in it, was initially cast in it, and some of the first episodes we got to work on had Tim Robbins in it, and then all of a sudden there was a big announcement. A lot of it had to do with COVID and scheduling. And so what happens when actors and actresses get signed onto a show, they sign on a contract for a certain amount of time. Scrabby can tell you about this. Scrabby can tell you all about it in the chat. Seriously. Well, Scrabby's got some killer roles. I could tell you some commercials Scrabby's been in, and you would be like, wow, really? And I'm like, yep. So Scrabby and I played in our first band together when we were 19, I think, maybe. Learned how to play guitar with each other in college, and just dear friend. Anyway, so his name is Mark Scarborough in the chat. So when you see him, you say, hey, Scrabby, because that's what we called him. That's what he called himself, and everybody called him.
We've got an interesting question.
Okay.
Speaking of albums, the Ashes to Stone album you did for us will be released on March 15th. How in the world do we get it in front of people or labels?
Well, you're getting it in front of everybody right now. So we'll say Ashes to Stone, right? Ashes to Stone is the band name. Tell me the name of the record again, guys, because I know that you told me what it was, and you sent me the cover, and I can't remember what the name. I can hear all the songs, and I can tell you the song titles, but I can't tell you what the name of the record is. How do you get it in front of labels? How do you get it in front of people? It's a different, I don't want to say it's a different world than it used to be, and if it is, it doesn't really matter. The used to be is used to be anyway. So I could tell you how things used to be, or I could tell you how things are now. But what I would honestly do is it's a video world, which is kind of why we do this thing. And it's not kind of why we do it, but it's a video world. You're watching us right now. If I put a new record out tomorrow and I just magically dropped a brand new record tomorrow myself, I don't know that this many people, and it's kind of sad to say, man, because music is so much easier to consume nowadays, but people just don't consume it as much because they're looking here. They're not necessarily listening. So if it doesn't have a sight attached to it, the sound seems not to matter as much, which is kind of sucks, but it's true. So there's a lot of music I use in the reel things, where you do them on Instagram and you can pick. I was like, wow, look, Instagram, I can use my own music in a post or in a reel. I don't know how. I do know how because they're digitally distributed. But what you do is you have to set yourself up first on all of the major platforms, and that's normally pretty easy. There's CD Baby, which I use, will get your stuff out there, although it's called CD Baby. They were actually a CD distribution company. They do digital distribution now. And Rockingham. Yeah, that's the name of the record. That's right. Rockingham. It's got a picture of a car on the front of it, right? Like an old car. These guys looking under the hood of an old car, I think. So Ashes to Stone is the name of the band. The record is going to be called Rockingham. What you can do is you have to put your records, if you're releasing them independently, you have to put them on all major platforms. So in other words, you have to put them on. You have to find a digital distribution company like CD Baby or like TuneCore is another one. DistroKid is one. Corey Wong, my buddy Corey Wong, uses DistroKid and advertises it all the time. And those are great services because if you do get a lot of streams and you do get a lot of listens, but the marketing behind it is getting to where you've either got to hire somebody that knows how to market the stuff on the cheap, and I hate to say on the cheap because you don't want to spend a lot of money on it, but you're going to have to. The algorithms and all the social media stuff are so weird now that you're not just going to post it and everybody hear about it. You know, you're going to have to figure out how to get that stuff out in front of the world. If it means advertising, you know, when you advertise, I know I've advertised on Facebook for my studio before. Like sometimes, I've advertised on who is that? I don't see who that is. Oh, same conversation. Sorry guys, my eyes are bad. Anyway, so get it out there on all the platforms. If you get a digital distributor like CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, you can get it all on Spotify. It'll go on YouTube. What'll happen on YouTube is it'll just play the songs, so there's really not video. So I would highly suggest that whether you do videos on the cheap that have some sort of entertainment value to them, if it's a lyric video, if it's I edit a lot of God, what are they called? Not lyric videos. What are the other ones called? The other videos that just have they have something going on.
Like a visualizer?
Like a visualizer, yes. Yeah, like a visualizer. There's companies that will make that you can do visualizer videos, but you have to be really careful because so many companies now are trying to get you to join them in like a subscription-based thing. That's the hard part, and I don't want to trash any of these digital distribution services because they're good, but like if you join TuneCore or you join DistroKid, you have to pay annually to keep all of your records on their sites. So in other words, they distribute all of your content out to Spotify and out to Apple Music and what are all the other ones? Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, all of those, right? All the things that you listen, that you talk into your phone and tell it play music and it plays it, right? It'll distribute it to all that. But there are certain services you have to be really careful with that they're going to charge you an annual fee. And if you do not pay that annual fee, they're going to take your stuff down. If you say, great, I don't want to pay your annual fee anymore, all your stuff's going to disappear, and I don't think that's cool. So that's why I personally use CD Baby myself. I don't know if the cuts are better. I don't know what the cuts are. I know that the cuts, the difference in between the cuts, in other words, percentages that you make and percentages that they make for posting the stuff for you, CD Baby is better to me because for $59, I can put a record out there and I never have to pay again. One time, $59 gets me the barcode, which they have to have for digital distribution, gets me distributed to all these other formats, right? And then you take care of all your publishing and all that stuff. So anyway, you have to do that first. You have to get those things. You have to get those things in place. But also too, it's the patience thing. Like I was talking about with labels, you have to be patient with independent releases because if you have enough faith in them, I mean, man, I see guys that literally post song lyrics that they just wrote they post them on the internet, like post them on social media. Like I just wrote this song lyric today. And I'm like, why in the living, you know what, would you post your song lyrics out? Like, right, really? Like if I'm so proud of a song, I want it to be done absolutely right before I release it to the world. And that's what the majors do. And that's what the big boys do. So if you're not doing that and you're treating your songs like they don't matter to you that much, then they're not going to matter to anyone else either. I hate to tell you, but that's just my personal advice. That's what I see, and I just kind of go like, I would never in a million years do that. But that's just me. So CD Baby, I would say do that. Get it on all the platforms. Thoughts on the warm
We're
audio?
getting some questions in.
Okay. So anyway, get it on all the platforms. Find yourself a good PR person. I have a record I'm going to talk about here next, right after I answer these questions.
This question, yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna have a record that I did, and I will tell you exactly how those guys did it. And the first thing you got to do is you got to make a good record. And if the record comes out of here, I'm not lying to you, it's going to be pretty darn good. You know? So if it comes out of here, I'm going to help you make it as good as it possibly can be. And then it's really just finding your people. I used to think when I went to gigs, I wanted to play gigs with a full house full of people that I didn't know. Right? When I was coming up and I was playing gigs, I really wanted to play to a club full of 250 people that I had never seen in my life. But I would have 150 people show up that I knew. And that never satisfied me until I realized there's still 150 people in the club, whether I know them or not. And what you're going to realize is a lot of the popular bands and a lot of the successful bands, when you start out grassroots, you got to know your people. They're going to be the same people. If you see them at a gig one time, you're going to know the second gig. You're going to know them. You'd be like, well, my friend's coming out, or this person's coming out that I see all the time, and you feel like you want to play for total strangers and really like you're in a coliseum and you don't know anybody. It's like, that ain't the way it happens. You got to build an audience from the ground up, if it means your friends, if it means anything else, and then you got to tell all those friends where your record is. You have to do, there's a thing called Linktree. I use Linktree in my Instagram, and Linktree will put everywhere it's everywhere that it is. It's like what is the link for that? It's like LINK. It's really weird. It's the word Linktree, LINKTREE, but it's cut. It's like cut at a certain point where it's like LINKTR.EE or something weird like that. Look up Linktree. Linktree is a great place to put all of your links. And then get a PR person and let them promote the crap out of it for you so you don't have to waste all your time doing that.
Yeah, it's what you said, LINKTR.EE.
Okay.
We've
Cool.
got some comments here.
We got some questions.
Jason Wright says, I posted a song on the internet, but the internet gave it right back. It was so bad.
The internet will do that to you. It'll go, did you get an error 404 when you posted it? That's not good. That's not good. You don't want to see that when you post your songs on the internet. So
Facebook user says Earthtones equals the Greensboro Hit Factory.
Hey now, that's what. Wait a minute. That's what I feel like. Earthtones, thank you. Earthtones, I appreciate that.
Jason Wright says too many double stops.
Too many double. Who's playing too many double stops? Oh, your song had too many double stops in it? Really?
And then the question that you're going to answer says,
okay.
Thoughts on the Warm Audio WA-47 Junior, best $300 vocal mic in class?
Ooh, I have not tried it yet. So that's the U47. Everything that Warm Audio makes is really like, I don't want to say a rip-off because everybody rips off everything. All the best stuff has been, I don't want to say it's been made, but, you know, there's some classic stuff audio-wise that's been made that everybody is going to make a, will you find that?
There you go.
Will you find it? Will you find their website and post it in the comments?
Yep.
That's awesome. So so this mic that I'm being asked about, the Warm Audio WA-47, Abraham's going to post that link to the Warm Audio site so you guys can see.
Yeah, I'll just find the Sweetwater.
Okay.
Good old trusty Sweetwater.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
So it's like a U47. If you see, what you'll see with these microphones is you'll see companies that put out mics that are like, you know, a tribute to whatever, but they're basically, you know, they're ripping off a U47, a Neumann U47, and you'll see a, you know, WA 87, you know, U87. So there's mics that have a number attached to them. The original classic model has a number attached to it, and you'll see the clones of it be like they'll have the same number, you know, attached to it. You know, so I have some mics from, and I would like to give a big shout out to SE Electronics. You can put a link to them. You can put a link to them if you want to. What? Oh yeah. So the microphone that Abraham is speaking into, as you can see in this shot right here, This mic is the SE Electronics Dynacaster, and you will also see a lot of mics that are a ripoff of this mic. I am speaking into a Shure SM7B. B stands for broadcast, I think. And most of these mics you'll see they have this bracket on them. And if you ever been into a radio station, or some of my friends when I was growing up used to call them a radio station. If you ever been into a radio station, they hang like this. They have a big bracket that comes down, arm that comes down from the ceiling. So you'll see these, right? And this is the way they normally look, that they look normal. But I don't have mic stands hanging from the ceiling. But don't tempt me, because I'll put them up there. And so I get these little stands, and we just talk, and I stay hunched over and talking to them. So this is an SM7, killer vocal mic, dialogue mic, anything like that. And you'll see a lot of companies are making their version of this mic. And that's exactly what this SE mic is. And I will tell you, it's really, really good. Get up and talk into it close.
Hey.
Yeah, perfect, right? So almost sounds identical to this mic. I will tell you, it is not as expensive as this mic. And this mic is not expensive. That's the thing. These mics, I want to say these Shure SM7Bs maybe $399-ish, $350.
Yeah, and this has got it's got a few little built-in things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It has this really cool circuit called Dynamite in it. And what you'll see with these SM7s, if you ever use one for vocals, is the output of them is really, really quiet, really low. So you have to use a mic preamp of some kind to turn up the output of them, right? And when you do, if you have a cheap mic preamp, they get noisy. They get like you'll hear hiss in the background. I don't hear any. I don't hear any hiss because I don't think I have any cheap mic preamps in here. I do, but I just don't use them anymore. So anyway, so the SM7 needs a little help, getting that level out. Well, SE Electronics has built the Dynacaster, and they kind of built that help circuit in, and it's called the Dynamite. And there's an option to run phantom power to this thing, and it's got an extra preamp built into it that jacks it up. And I'm telling you, this mic is killer. And the best part about it, turn around and face it to the people and show them. Or face it to, hold on, put it on that camera over here. Put it on that camera over here and face it. Face it over there. Yeah, it's red. The diaphragm's red. Or the padding inside the mic, it's red. That's right. SM7B, it's not red. Not red, so okay, sure. Time to get your game on. I want a green or a red version of this mic. That would be killer, right?
Somebody says the new Lewitt and Aston condenser mics are rather good.
Yes, I have an Aston. What is it called? The Origin, just the plain cardioid one. Killer mic. I use it on percussion a lot, which is crazy. I think we actually have it at home, and I have to bring it in because my friend George Sluppick wants to try that microphone out, and I told him I would bring it and let him try it out. Says I'll have to check out that SE mic. Yeah, you need to, man. So the SE microphones are great. They make cloud lifter. That's exactly what this Dynamite circuit is. Yep. It's like a cloud lifter, but it's built into the mic, and you can choose to use it or choose not to. That is killer.
It's nifty.
Yeah, very, very, very nifty, and it's well built. The SE stuff is built like a tank. I have two of their. They're very kind. They're very kind to me as an artist endorser and a studio endorser, which I know I say that all the time, but I think it's important that I don't just sit here and bullcrap you about these mics. I once used a pair of Behringer measurement mics as drum overheads. Hey man, whatever it takes. I was looking at some PreSonus measurement mics for my room this past week because I've got this new IK multimedia stuff that'll measure your room, and I'm like, man, I might try that out because you can get it to measure your control room and kind of spec out and automatically EQ your monitors for your control room if your control room is not professionally built or whatever. And I was going to try that out. I was looking at the PreSonus one. So the Behringer, how is it for a measurement mic? I know you said ha for a drum flat response. I bet. That's okay. Hey, I will tell you this. I just got, speaking of studio stuff, I love doing this show. I'm so glad that y'all watch and y'all interact. This is fun. So there's a person on the Instagrams that I just sent a message, my buddy Greg Griffith, who, does anybody know who Robert Randolph is? I bet Terry V's going to chime in because Robert Randolph is like he's like the pedal steel hero. Anybody know who Robert Randolph is? Let me get everybody can say yes or no or whatever, or isn't there a thing you can do in the chat where you clap like this, like that? So anyway, so Robert Randolph, a world-renowned pedal steel player, put out a record. The first record that he was ever on that was outside of the church is called The Word. It's just the name of the band, and it's the name of the record. And the church allowed him to do it. Is the Sacred Steel, the Sacred Steel worship type. You just have to check that out. And so outside of the church, Robert Randolph was allowed to play on this record if he couldn't do any secular songs. So it was him. There's a couple of the cats from Medeski, Martin, and Wood were like his backing band.
We've got some good comments for Robert Randolph.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right. You're right, Cody. Badass. Totally badass. Yes. So I'll tell you this. My buddy Greg Griffith just sent me a message and said, what did he say to me? Oh, he said, you should grab these while they're cheap, good stuff. And it's a pair of mics from a company called, let me look and see, they're on Instagram, and they are called Muro Acoustics, MURO_acoustics. And it's a pair of overhead mics. This guy just said he used Behringer. And so their deal, special introductory price, $299 for the pair. Half price. Half off, $299 for the pair. They look like my old Octava 012s, which Greg loved. Greg is from Trinity, North Carolina, and he's a great buddy of mine. But just like everyone that lives in Trinity, he wanted to get the hell out. No, I'm just kidding. No offense to Trinity.
Which mic is it?
It's the... Yes. That's it, the AC7 pencil. Put that in the chats if you can. So Abraham's going to put this mic I'm talking about. Anyway, he just sent me that message, pair of them for $299. You can't beat that, man. So what was I getting at? I was getting at something. Oh, Robert Randolph. So Greg Griffith, funny story, was a friend of mine I met at the coffee shop one day, and a friend of mine who grew up my next door neighbor when I was a kid was at the coffee shop one morning. He said, "Hey man, I want you to meet my buddy Greg. He's a producer from Los Angeles." And I was like, "Oh, cool." He'd just come to town. He was from Trinity and had moved back from Los Angeles. And he said, "John says you have a studio." And I said, "Yeah, right down the street." And he said, "Well, I'd like to come by sometime." He said, "What are you doing right now?" And I was like, "Nothing. I guess I'm going to hang out, and we're going to hang out." So we hung out, met each other. Great guy. Love him to death. One of my good friends that I just don't get to see enough because he moved back to New York City. So after, probably a year of knowing Greg, we were sitting in my control room one day, and he said, "Man," he said, "do you like that amplifier?" And he pointed to, there's a Gibson amp over here that I could point, that I can't show you. But anyway, just because camera's not pointing at it. It's a GA15. And he said, "Do you like that amp?" And I said, "Yeah, man, I love that amp." I said, "It's the best sounding amp in the studio," which I still think it records better than any amp in here. So he says, "Man, I made this record one time." And he said, "And you know this guy named Luther Dickinson?" And I was like, and I looked at him, and I'm not lying to you. I knew exactly what record he was talking about. And I said, "Did you record The Word?" And he said, "Yeah, man, you know that record?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm going to punch you in the mouth for not telling me that. Or hug your neck, one or the other. Punch you in the mouth or hug your neck." So I go right to my CD shelf, and I take the record off that I've had for I don't know how many years, that I've just worn out. I open it up, and right there under the CD, the whole time I've had it, recorded by blah, 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 and Greg Griffith. And I was like, "Dude, I'm going to punch you." So that's my Robert Randolph story. So Greg Griffith just texted me right before this show and sent me a message, sent me a link to these mics. And so if your buddy that recorded Robert Randolph's first record tells you to buy a pair of mics, you kind of listen to him and you say, "Man, he probably knows what's up." So, and Greg has recently recorded a great country record that is killer, and it's under the name of Gregory Dwayne. So check out Gregory Dwayne, and he is awesome. Anyway, so North Carolina, raise up! I like it. So anyway, so golly, let me just continue burning down. We're almost an hour, 50 minutes in. I'm sorry, guys. Just sitting here and yakking. I got a sheet that I'm trying to follow. Oh, Abraham had his audition for Appalachian State University. App State in the house. Had his guitar audition this past weekend. We drove up to Boone. It was lovely. And we think everything went swimmingly well. So we feel very good about it. He feels good about it, so that's all that counts. I can feel good or bad about it, but I'm not the one auditioning. So, what does that say? Wrong ears. All right. So anyway, what did I do this week? Oh, Seth Williams. Anybody know Seth Williams? Whiskey Foxtrot. I mastered the song that I mixed for him last week. I think I said I was mixing it to him. Mixed it. He's ready to master it. So I mastered it using some software that I can't tell you about. I can't. Yeah. So, okay. So one more announcement, and the reason that I have this white pedal up here is I will tell you, I have a new record coming out. And when I say I was very fortunate to be part of this, but I have a new band record coming out, and it's one of those internet records, and it's really, really cool. And the name of the band is Spirit of Hamlet. And I can tell you all about it real quick, but I will get Abraham to actually put a link to this to the pre-order for this record, Spirit of Hamlet, and the record is called Northwest of Vibrato. It is myself. I won't say myself first. I just say myself to get myself out of the way. Scotty Irving, my drummer of 12 years in Benjo-Matic, approached me about recording some drums for him because he had been on a gentleman's radio show by the name of Mike Watt. Does anybody know Mike Watt? Mike Watt from the Minutemen. Mike Watt from Firehose. Mike Watt from the illustrious solo career of Mike Watt. And Mike Watt from Iggy Pop and the Stooges. And Mike Watt from Porno for Pyros. Legendary punk bass player. I don't know why people call him punk, because I listen to the Minutemen, and they're like as early alternative sounding as you would want to be, but they would call it punk rock. It doesn't sound like punk rock to me. It's crazy. It's like prog punk, if you want to call it that. But amazing stuff. Anyway, I'm fortunate enough to have been involved with this record with Scotty Irving and Mike Watt and Mr. Makoto Kawabata from a band called Acid Mother's Temple. And Scotty and Watt got this whole thing together. Watt said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to record drums, just record drums. No forethought of anything, and you're going to record drums, and then you're going to send them to me, and I'm going to record bass to your drums. Now, if I was speaking in Watt language, I would probably need to have a translator so you could understand, but he is the greatest. I love him to death.
Jason Wright says, saw him on MTV playing with Dave Grohl post Nirvana and just before Foo Fighters launching.
Yes, sir. That's what I will tell you about. So
Along with.
Huh?
Along with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so check this out. So here's the whole thing. I have to deep dive on a lot of the stuff that I work on. And of course, I know who Mike Watt is, right? But Mike Watt wasn't my scene because D. Boone died in like 83, I think. I was still in high school. I was like a sophomore in high school, 83, 84, something like that. I can't put the date on it, but so the Minutemen's frontman, guitar player, singer D. Boone was killed, unfortunately, in a van crash, and that was very legendary stuff. It sucked, but it becomes stuff of legend. And that's what people, it's not what people remember about the Minutemen, but people know that. If you're a Minutemen fan or you're a Mike Watt fan, you know that. And so I'm very fortunate enough to be included in that. Scotty recorded all of his stuff. Oh yeah. So anyway, so I had to do a deep dive on Mike Watt after I'm working on a record with him. And I'm like, wow, I should probably be a little respectful and go back and do a deep historical dive on this guy, since he's not like, I can tell you everything about Steve Vai and Eddie Van Halen and all the guitar shredders from back in the day. Oh, come on, that needed a little longer. Anyway, so I did a little deep dive on Mike Watt, and I was sitting with Abraham, and I was like, do you realize this guy that I'm working with, I want you to see the history, I want you to see the history. So we start flipping through YouTube, of course, and we're watching all this stuff, and there's the clip that you're talking about he was on the Jon Stewart show. Anybody remember when Jon Stewart actually had a late night show, and it wasn't all political and, BS. It was very funny, and he had great really cutting edge guests on there. And so he had Mike Watt, who had a new solo album called Ball Hog or Tugboat. And on this live show, Dave Grohl was playing drums, Mike Watt on bass and lead vocals, Pat Smear on guitar, and Eddie Vedder on guitar and backing vocals. And I was like, and I'm just sitting there like, am I literally currently making a record with this guy? Like, that's crazy, right? Crazy. Like, that's what I thought. That's crazy. And I tell people about it, and I don't walk around like, yeah, it's made a record with Mike Watt. But at the same time, it's like it flips me out like it flips other people out. You know, and everybody that worked on it, except Mike, he's not flipped out about anything. He's really cool. So Scotty and I were just like, man, we don't know what's happening, but this is happening. So I was fortunate enough to be asked, or should I say I might have maybe needled and sort of nudged my way into the party, but I was responsible for receiving all the audio files from these guys. So Scotty put his drums down here, and we made a 2-track mix of the drums, sent them to Watt. Watt put all these bass tracks on, right, to these drums, and I get it back, and I'm like, it's killer, like sludgy, the way rock and roll bass should sound, man. It was just so awesome. And then we sent the songs to Makoto Kawabata. And if you've never heard of Acid Mother's Temple, they are the craziest psycho trip out. Like, I love it, man. It's just crazy, right? And so Makoto puts his guitars on it, right? But they are out there guitars. They are out there, like in outer space, and I love them. And I told Scotty, I just heard this one song, and I was just like, dude, that could use a guitar that's just nailed to that bass line. And so next time I talked to Scotty, I joked with him, and I said, dude, you should let me guest on a song. And he said, and Scotty's very matter of fact when you ask him a question if you know Scotty. He said, well, I want to make sure these other gentlemen don't think it's going to be a trio record, but I don't have a problem with it. And I was like, oh, okay. Week goes by. The email thread, there's an email thread that we have. It's got like 200, it's perpetual. Every morning we wake up and just email each other. So there's this email thread that comes through, and Watt's like, have him play on the whole record. And I was like, what? And so I was thinking maybe a song or something like that. So then here I be with my guitar and my thoughts, and I get the last stab at the whole record. That's where I was very lucky, because I was getting all these tracks in, but I was kind of hearing them, and creatively in my head, it's when you always think, it's every guy that ever looked over my shoulder while I played them something and immediately said to me, and there's a ton of people that do this, they stand in the back of your control room and says, you know what that needs right there, man? That needs some acoustic guitar. Oh, you know what that needs right there? That needs some bongos. And I'm like, okay. You had me at Dave Grohl. I like it. East Coast punk for life. Wait a minute now. So anyway, there's always that guy, right? They'll come in, and before they even listen to the song, man, you know what that needs right there. So guess what? I became that guy, except it was put up or shut up time. For me to go like, man, I really did guest on a song, and they were like, play on the whole record. And I'm like, So I will say this is one of the most creative records, really killer. And speaking of what I was talking about earlier, it's great because there's a label out of Chapel Hill, sort of a punk crazy kind of label, that's going to release it on vinyl, 175 copies limited. The vinyl is on pre-sale right now. The vinyl should ship in April, I think. The release of the record is March 17th. And if you go to, did you put the link to it?
I put the Bandcamp.
You put the Bandcamp. Okay, so the Bandcamp, the Bandcamp link that Abraham put in the chat is where you can order the vinyl for it. And I'll just tell you, it's really, really, really good. And I'm gonna play some of it on here if I can do that. Maybe try to set up having Scotty in here. Maybe see if we can get Watt and Makoto on some Watt always uses Skype. From people in Estonia, Skype invention. That's pretty good. That's pretty good impersonation. I love him. He is my friend now, and it's just bizarre to me when I work in this industry that when you work with people, if you stay at it long enough, kids, you'll work with people that you might have considered your heroes in the past or something, and the musical heroes of a lot of people, and you have to be very respectful of those relationships. So I was very respectful and tread lightly in doing this stuff, but I will say that record ain't lightly anything. The record is heavy, and it is like guitars are exploding. Part of my guitar sound on that record is due to this pedal, and this pedal is the JHS color box, and I will play it here in just a little bit. Okay, let's get to some meat and potatoes. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I got any more thing. Nope, Spirit of Hamlet. And Spirit of Hamlet. This Saturday at 9 a.m.,
Oh, and I didn't put the link into the stupid magazine. Dang it. Video, can you drop a link to that record? Yep, the link is the Bandcamp link above. It should be spiritofhamlet.bandcamp.com. And Spirit of Hamlet was Watt's idea because he is a massive John Coltrane fan. If you're a fan of Watt, you will understand that Watt is a massive John Coltrane fan. Although he is considered a legendary punk bass player, John Coltrane is his man, right? So John Coltrane was born in Hamlet, North Carolina. And so he said, I think this record has the spirit of Hamlet. And we were like, that's it, dude. That's there you go. That you just named the band. And it was really special. And then Scotty came up with the album title, Northwest of Hamaretto. Hamaretto is actually Japanese for Hamlet. It's the Japanese translation for the word Hamlet. And so we figured that every one of us, including Scotty and I, and Watt, and Makoto especially, were all Northwest. I think Northwest, Watt's Northwest. Anyway, so Northwest and Makoto especially, we are Northwest of Hamlet. So you'll see the record cover when you go to the Bandcamp site that's got a little compass on it. Thank you, man. So that's got some samples that are really killer. It's got 3 great songs that I absolutely love. There's a video for this song called Float that I wrote about. I wrote this song. And so there's 8 songs on the record, right? It's a really good vinyl record. It just goes bam, and it just gets out, and it's really cool. So there's 4 vocal songs, and there's 4 instrumental songs. Abraham played on, My Cold Cereal is Getting Soggy is the name of the song that Abraham played guitar on, because as he was in here one day and we were going through the tracks and I'm listening to him and I said, you know what? You got to play on this song. So I gave him the guitar and he said, okay, what do you want me to do? So there you go. So Abraham is actually a guest on the record, which is cool. All right. So the video for the song Float makes its world premiere this Saturday, March 17th at 9 a.m. And it is on a magazine site, and I will try to go back into the chat later and put that in there.
I can see if I can find it now.
See if you can find it. It's in my email somewhere.
Okay.
It's a really short magazine name. It's like something, I don't know what it's called. Let me, hold on a second. I'll see.
Is it New Noise Magazine?
Nope.
Okay, that's just a write-up then.
It's not New Noise. And so back to the point of how do I promote a record? Not only did this label go about pressing the vinyl and doing all this, but okay, let me get to it. Hold on. Okay. So the video will world premiere this Saturday at 9 a.m. at the letter V, and the numbers 13v13.net. And that is V13 Magazine. Writes up all sorts of crazy...
It's just v13.net?
V13.net.
There you go.
So that would be... It says the premiere would come out this Saturday, the 18th at 9 a.m. So you will see... and the video is kind of cool. You know, it's just got some shots of some stuff in it. But I am next on the docket for making a video. Watt's idea was that everyone should make 2 videos each, and Watt has been the only one to make a video, so I need to step my game up, because when you make a record with Mike Watt, you should probably follow his orders, although he's not that kind of person. So I will give you a little insider tip that tomorrow night, Mr. Irving and I are going to record the drums for Spirit of Hamlet 2. Watt's idea. So don't be coming around here knocking on my door, because I'm going to have it locked. Hold on a minute.
Not until that heathen apologizes for slamming the door in my face.
Don't you slam the door in my face. So don't be coming knocking on my door, because I'm going to be recording drums for Spirit of Hamlet 2, and we shall see how this one goes. But it's going to be the same exact way. Scotty, Watt, Makoto, me. And me treading lightly on what they've done, because I have massive respect for all those guys. Anyway, so, all right, shall we get to some guitars? Or, yeah. Abraham tonight is playing the Peavey Wolfgang Eddie Van Halen model guitar with a Floyd Rose twang bender and 2 humbuckers and a D-tuner. Oh, and you know where I bought that guitar? I bought that guitar at the Music Go Round when it used to be on Hopper Road, when it wasn't Gate City Boulevard, but that was a great guitar. And he is playing through the Kemper Profiler amp, and he has got the, speaking of good people that I really like, he has got the JHS. It says LIMG.
Loud is more good.
Loud is more good amplifier modeled into it, and it sounds amazing. So we're just playing some clean tones. Tonight I am playing through, oh, you can kind of see it in that shot right there. I'm playing through my Carvin Legacy Steve Vai, Legacy 3 head, because we love Steve. We love Steve Vai. So last week, if anybody was watching last week and you heard Abraham go, boom, 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 sound effects are outstanding. Thank you, Cody, thank you. I worked really hard on the sound effects. Hold on a minute. You want to hear some great sound effects?
Who you calling a dummy, you big dummy?
That's right. That's what I would say. That's what I spent the majority of my time working on. Hold on. No, wait. Why do you want to go back to that? You want to hear? Here's one more good. You ready? Hold on.
Oh.
Dang it, man. What happened?
That's what you want.
It is.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Whoever can name that sample.
Better, stronger, faster.
Woo. If you tell me the music from 70s TV shows wasn't the funkiest stuff you ever heard, I will call you a liar. So, I am playing through the Carvin Legacy Steve Vai Legacy 3 that I was so lucky to acquire from my friend Quentin Gibson. Quentin Gibson plays guitar, and I love Quentin to death. He plays guitar for the illustrious Darius Rucker on the road, and he had a deal with Carvin a while back, and he had about 6 of these rascals, and it sits behind me most of the time. So somebody this week said, play the Legacy 3. So I try to post the day ahead or the day of or something like that about these live streams. And I'm so glad that so many of you are watching, and I appreciate you having patience and just staying here and watching our silly stuff for that long. So this amp is the Legacy 3, and I just have it on the clean channel. It was Quentin Gibson's, and it came out of storage after being on the road with Darius Rucker, so this amp has probably seen more countries than I have ever been to in my entire life, which is perfectly fine. So we did a little tradeage, and I like it. I'm playing it through my UA aux on the clean channel. And I think it's time for some guitar pedals.
Only an hour in.
I know, only an hour in. I'm so sorry, guys. We're not going to be long tonight. Right? So Abraham, do you want to go first? Oh, my Lord.
I would love to. The highly anticipated demo.
The highly anticipated demo of... So if Terry B's watching, he's been asking me for weeks about the best Leslie pedal. And a Leslie is basically the speaker cabinet and amplifier from a Hammond B3 organ. If you know, you know. And so, go grab my blue USB cable that's plugged into that power. It's in the control room. It's wound up. I need that and a cube and something to plug into. All right, sorry y'all, the iPad is dying, and I needed to put on my show. So Terry wanted to hear the best Leslie pedal ever made. So I've been threatening him for weeks, but I can't plug it in. It has a 12-volt power supply to it. So here you go. Are you ready? All right, are you ready then?
Give us a top down.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Camera operator sleeping on the job.
See how that pedal adds a little bit of grit to your signal? That's great. But here's the best part. You ready?
It's on the slow speed, so it's got a slow fast button on it that you can see right here with my big old fat fingers hanging over. It's like you're in church now. Woo! Amazing. Beautiful. They do. Somebody commented they also make a mini unit. They do, and it's called the Mini Vent. And I had the Mini Vent first. I acquired this pedal from Mr. Charlie Hunter, and the Mini Vent I had first. And he was touring in Europe somewhere or something like that, and he wanted the smaller footprint to fit in his backpack, so he didn't have to carry a bigger one around. And I guess when you're traveling with that much stuff, even half of this size makes a big difference. So. It's beautiful. Beautiful, right? Yep. Neo Instruments, that's exactly right. And they do completely nail it. Neo Instruments, and this is called the Ventilator 2. And the best part is, when you're running the Leslie like that, you can hit the stop button, momentary. So, if you're familiar with the way a Leslie cabinet works, is that it spins mechanically, the speakers spin around inside, and so you get the speakers, rotating in front of your face, so it gets that wah 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 kind of thing to it, and you have a speed lever on your Leslie that attaches to your B3, and you flip it back and forth, and it's got a slow and a fast, and it's got a stop. And so there's a stop button on here, and what the stop does is when the Leslie comes to a stop from spinning, the speaker could randomly be anywhere, like because it's running in 180. There are actually two speakers that spin around like a propeller almost. So it could stop at any point. So when you press stop, you sort of get this random filter on your guitar in the pedal, just like a Leslie. You don't know if the speaker is going to be pointed right at you when it stops. Just like that. That's funky sounding. Yeah, and it's got a drive. Let's turn the drive up. Just like you'd push a Leslie cabinet. Killer. It's awesome. Turn the guitar up a little bit. Turn the rig up. That's good. Everybody can hear that? Yeah? Okay, cool. It's harmonic speaker phase chaos. Yes, it is. It's great, right? So we're going to go back to speed up. You ready? Actually, that's go back to slow. Yes. Yes. Oh, I love it. That's amazing. Woo. So that is the Ventilator 2 by Neo Instruments. And if you want the best sounding Leslie pedal that they make for your guitar or for your organ or for anything, just get one. But save up your pennies because they ain't cheap. But the good stuff really never is. We'll get to that next. Nasty. Yeah, they're definitely expensive. Somebody's listening through a pair of Cali Audio LP8s. I've read about those speakers. I think they're supposed to be really, really good, man. They got some pretty bourgeois-looking advertisements, so beautiful. I love it. I'm glad we waited 3 weeks to put that pedal on, man. It would have all been downhill. All been downhill from there if we'd have done it. All right, so if anybody read my post this week and heard me talk earlier on in the broadcast, is this a broadcast or is this a live stream? I don't know what it is. I'm still getting my Starbucks down from 4 o'clock this afternoon. So, I went into the music go-round, and I bought myself a $40 guitar pedal. Ooh. And the best part about it, well, here's the deal. I took $40 in, you know what I did? I came out with a pedal and enough change to buy myself a cup of coffee. Not this cup of coffee, because it was yesterday, and that would have been pretty nasty if I'd have been still drinking the same cup of coffee from yesterday, but I digress. So, what I did was I went in and I really was just, I dropped the box, but it's a nice box. Thank you. You big dummy. I am a complete dummy when I do that. So I bought a guitar pedal. Hold on, let me put it on the camera that's out there. So I bought a guitar pedal for under $40. So kids, if you think the pedal game is expensive, it's not. It's not.
Well, to an extent.
It can be. It can be if you let it be. So if you want some basic effects, and once I bought this pedal, so I went in and my main goal was to walk out with a pedal, and I was like, man, I'm going to have to drop $10 more to get something that's adventurous. And I thought, you know what? I put this on myself, and I'm going to post this, and I'm going to say that this pedal, I could have gone $10 higher and bought something, probably not any better, but I looked at it and I thought, look how big this thing is. It is. Ladies and gentlemen, the Behringer, the B word, it is the Behringer VP1. It actually has a model number, and it says model. VP1 stands for Vintage Phaser Phase Shifter. And this is the VP1, and I told y'all I was going to shoot it out. So here's the deal. Sitting right next to it is the ever-present orange MXR Custom Shop Script Phase 90. Also modded by Analog.Man to have a trim pot on the inside. Now, if you want to go bourgeois phasers, then
we've got some love for the Behringer in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
We do.
This pedal is fantastic. Okay, great. Wow. All right.
That's a good sign.
I dropped the box. That's funny. That's great. Yep. I'm glad that you guys watch us and you watch the JHS show, because they got a ton more followers than we got, which is fine, because you got to start somewhere. For now. Anyway, I'm not in competition with anybody. We just come up here and hook up all this stuff and act stupid and have fun. Well, I act stupid. Abraham acts incredibly smart every day. So,
of course.
Yep. So, anyway, so I walk out, I see this, and I'm just like, it is the Behringer VP1, and this pedal was $32. $32. Right? I got pedals in here that cost, I don't even know how to do the maths on them.
10 times?
Oh, I got pedals in here that cost probably 15 times that. That one right there. That
Really?
Ventilator 2 pedal is probably close to $500 for a Leslie pedal. Now, I'm not going to put the Ventilator 2 up against the VP1, but I will tell you, if you're just starting out playing guitar and you want some pedals to make your guitar sound a little different than it does now, it is not expensive to get in.
Especially nowadays. There's been really a big uptick in affordable brands.
And you got an affordable brand pedal over there, too.
Making
that
good stuff, too.
Killer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you buy them and you listen to them through a great amp, you're just kind of like, should I like that much? I shouldn't like that much.
That's very telling that amp is pretty crucial.
Yeah, amp is crucial.
Playing a good pedal through a bad amp.
That's right.
Doesn't get you.
That's like a bad drummer behind a good drum kit. Still sounds like a bad drum kit.
There you go.
All right,
so somebody is jumping the gun a little, and we'll get to it later, but it says that JHS color box is a desk/rack quality preamp, in my opinion.
Yes, it is, and you're going to hear it because I used it on the majority of the Spirit of Hamlet record.
Oh, this one's going to make you hurt.
Uh-oh.
Paid $280 in 2002 for a gold horse Klon. Gave it to the producer. True story.
Shut your mouth! Shut your mouth! Woo. What year? Wait, hold on. I got that. I got something for you.
Hello, Lamont, you big ugly dummy. Both of y'all are big dummies. Both of y'all are big dummies. Won't be long before we'll hear the pitter-patter of tiny dummies around the house.
Hey, man, nobody could know the Klon. Nobody could know the Klon was coming galloping, clip-clopping along. But, man,
hurts.
I almost bought one. But I'll tell you, when you look at a pedal that's $125 as opposed to one that was $250 new, right? Held it in my hands. My Lord, help us. There was just a great story about Joe Perry giving Jeff Beck or somebody a Klon. Gave him a pedal because he accidentally took one of his and he gave him a Klon, before. So if anybody doesn't know, the Klon Centaur is now like pedal of legend because they're on the used market. They're like $5,000. No joke. Yep. Did I mention I just bought a $32 pedal yesterday? So let's hear these. You ready? So here is and I have not turned this pedal on. Did not want to hear it until I literally was sitting here with all of you good folks. So we're going to turn it on. Are we ready? The best part is it has an instruction manual in this big old box. There's an instruction manual and it's got one knob and one switch on it. And I'm like, that's kind of like 3 options. I mean, did they take 3 pages to say that's what this is going to sound like? So here we go. You ready? You ready? Oh, man, come on.
Wow.
Yeah, now I see why everybody digs this pedal, right? Oh, what is that? The producer was Matt Talbot from the 90s band Hum. Somebody said WTF is an instruction manual. Exactly. Listen to that, guys. $32 phaser. Are you kidding me? That's pretty chewy. Let's see what the tone switch does.
You know what I'd say about $32?
What? Come on down! The Behringer VP1 for $32 this week because the price is right! Oh, my Lord. The price is definitely right. Let's see what the tone switch does. Because tone is always good. So that's my bet. It's just the knob. Oh! Oh! It's even chewier. Oh! It's like Eddie Van Halen chewy. It's like yow, yow, yow. Listen. So that's the Van Halen trick, guys. Kids, friends, and neighbors. Because I'm sure that you know it, but let's go look at the pedal here. So that slow phaser thing going on there, you can blend it into your distortion sound. Right? And so guess what I get to do? We get to go to a distortion channel on the amp. Woo! Oh, that's great. That's crazy, man. Let's go. Woo! Come on, guys. I would put that pedal on a pedal board in 0 seconds flat. That's great. That's unbelievable, man. Wow, come on, man. $32? Come on. Seriously? 32 $32. Congratulations, you've received 100 messages today with Restream Chat. Oh, I'm honored. Woo. What I like about this pedal, oh my God, it sounds good. And that Legacy sounds fabulous. I love that. Yeah. Hey. $32 EHX clone. Yes, it is a small
Nothing
stone.
wrong with that.
It is a small stone clone. I guarantee you. So now, I'm dropping cameras. All right. We dropped an overhead camera battery, but I'm okay with that. If we can pull that one back up, that's cool. Look at Aiden. Aiden is the man. Aiden's got a spare battery. So, that is the Behringer. So what we're going to see right now is we're going to listen to the same exact setting on the Script Phase 90. That's pretty dang good. I like that. Woo! So let's go back to that. What I will say is the difference in between these two is that the Behringer has a more pronounced mix of the effect. The MXR is pretty cool in that it mixes the phaser effect down compared to your guitar. It doesn't take your guitar over so much. But hey, man, if you're going to have an effect on, you know, there's very few effects you're going to want to have very lightly, but I will say that Phase 9 sounds pretty good. So that's the MXR Phase 90. Is it the Behringer? Nope. Is the Behringer the MXR? Nope. But guess what? They're two completely different sounding pedals, which is killer. So let's hear the Behringer one more time. I still dig it. I wouldn't throw it away. So, cool Pink Floyd sound. Right on. It says, phase goes in front of the amp. Wow. Yeah, right? Sound great, my dude. Thank you, guys. Sorry for my ham hands guitar playing tonight. So, there's your phaser shootout. Woo. You want a phaser and you got $32? You better get on down to the $32 phaser store, because, son, you can get you one. And I will tell you, the MXR does not have a tone switch on it. And this thing gets all chewy and weird when it does. Woo! Phaser pedal. Okay, that was a $32 phaser shootout. I wish I had a theme song for it, but I don't. But hey, It's okay. So, what is this?
There you go.
There you go.
That's
Pick you
what it
one
is.
up. Pick you one up, just like the Galaga ship picked that cat up. Listen to that. Oh, wait, no, they're coming down after him. That's not the pickup music. Okay, that's our phaser shootout. I was going to shoot out the Eddie Van Halen, but, you know, the Eddie Van Halen is its own thing, and it has the script button on it. If anybody else wants to hear, if you want to hear the EVH, just yell at me in the comments and drop it in, and I'll plug it up. I ain't afraid of it. Abraham, pedal. Woo.
All right. Here. Do we
I
have
see
top
what you
camera?
got. We don't. We lost it. We lost the top camera, guys, and I don't know if we could put a new battery. We could. Hand me a battery. I'll put it in. You got one? I don't want to lose the top camera battery because it's the fun part, along with the sound effects. You know what? You know what? You know what happens when you don't when I don't remember to put the proper in there.
You bigger dummy than my dummy.
That's right. I didn't put the proper link. Now, the crazy thing is that overhead battery last week, it lasted for an hour and 50 minutes. All right, here I go. You ready? Watch this. With my guitar wrapped around my head, hoping my camera don't fall. Hey, oh, I just lost something totally. Oh, that's my headphones. Ooh, I thought I lost the whole broadcast, but I didn't. Don't change the camera battery. Don't change the battery. Oh, yeah, change the camera battery. Gonna get your battery now, put it in your camera. Oh, better put your fat belly on TV. Cause I can't get it with one hand. Take this one from me. Alright, I might need two hands to do this. Hold on. I think I do. Oh, what? Huh? No, you didn't get me wrong, man. I think you got the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. That's the right one. Because it's bigger, right? Yep. I'm so glad you guys get to see all the technical difficulties. They're not really difficulties. I mean, it's just switching out a... Hold on a second. Hold those for me, Aiden. Can you hold that? Aiden's going to hold the guitar and rip a solo while he's at it. Everybody give Aiden a big hand. Do that. Oh, come on. Oh, battery. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's actually it. Yep. Sorry. There we go. Let's see if we can get the camera back up now. Should be back on. Look at that. God, dog. Woo! Okay. Thank you, man. Okay, good people. We got an extra fresh round of batteries in. We're going to go to about 11 o'clock tonight. And, all right. So what's your pedal, Abraham?
So we've got the Catalan bred Bell Epic Deluxe.
And that's the Catalan bred version of the
Echoplex.
The Echoplex. Does anybody know about the Echoplex?
So, we'll see what we got.
Was that what I just
Maybe
said?
we won't.
Does everybody know about the Echoplex? Let's hear it.
So, we've got, I don't even know what these knobs
There's
are
100
set
million
at.
controls on it. It's crazy.
They're set at whatever
This
you've
is
got them set
this is
at.
the off-the-shelf setting.
So,
It's probably been moved around 15 times, and the knob's all knocked all sideways. So let's see what's
we'll
on.
see what happens.
Let's do it. Oh! You better watch out. Oh, God, how much do I love that? Insane. I love it. Mike Burris just said I give you $30 for the pedal. Little slap back, right? Ooh!
What do we got?
God, dog, that pedal sounds good. Somebody said watching and doing homework at the same
you know
time.
who that is?
Who was
Mr.
that?
Garrett Lynn.
Gary Lynn.
Woo! Oh! All right. Woo! God dog. Oh, it sounds so good. And that's just the drop. That's just in.
There we go.
Now this is my pedal and I use it, but I still freak out when I hear it. Do that again and explain to the fine people what you're doing. Get it? Get it, son? So if you set a delay like that, explain to the fine people what you're doing. You set a delay like that, and you hear the time of the echoes on it, and then you play a scale, and you literally play in time with it. So the previous note you played harmonizes with the next note. Harmonizes. It's really good for your rhythm. It's really good for your timing. You know, it's really, really cool. Lets you work on your timing without a drummer. It's like you're really
Get in the spaces.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. That pedal sounds great. Oh, man, here we come. Hey, Instagram got us last week. Instagram's bots got us last week and said, no, you can now have video on, and they took the video down. And I was like, I just pleaded my case and said, I don't have any copyright material on this thing. I mean, if they're going to sue me for Price is Right and $6 Million Man, then, you know, so be it. But last week, what war was that? Wow, that pedal sounds crazy. Why do I not play through that pedal like every day?
I wonder who got it for you.
Oh yes, that was a fine present from my son. No, you need big applause. And golf clap. Very, very good. Wow.
So what does this foot switch do? Echo oscillation?
So the echo oscillation, if anybody ever had an old Echoplex and you would set the echo level, it's either the echo level, I can't remember if it's the echo level or the feedback or a combination of the two, and you set them too high, they oscillate and they don't stop like feedback, right? But the fine people at Catalan Bread actually built that into a switch. So all you have to do is click the switch. You don't have to worry about anything like that. And it does this. Are you ready? So at any time during the show, you can be playing, just rocking out with your effect, with your echo effect, right, that you have on, right? Ooh. And then at the same time, and I think this has an expression pedal input. And so expression pedal input is going to give you a tap tempo, and it's probably going to give you a blend between a couple of things. It may let you adjust the time, I'm not sure. But they're beautiful. Don't you play me a Gary Hoey tune, because that's just like the deep. Where's that coming from? Mm-hmm. That's great. Can I steal that? All right, so that is the Belle Epoque Deluxe from Catalan Bread. It's got a million things on it, but it sounds amazing. Everything everything you do with it sounds killer. So let's get one more shot of that one. That would be, yep. It's got a gray pedal with the blue writing on it right here.
I don't even know what these knobs are doing.
I don't either, but it sounds killer. So you guys look that one up. Catalan Bread, Bell Epoch Deluxe, Echo Unit CB3. Missed a lot of the stream, but I'm glad I can still catch it live. Brenna, look out! Thank you, Brenna. Hey, we ate the pizza last night. Did Abraham tell you? Freezer went out. We had to eat a bunch of freezer food, so we didn't want that to go to waste. And the pizza with the meatballs on top of it was this. It was amazing. Great sounding echo pedal. I think you're keeping up with it. All right, next pedal. Time's wasting. Not really wasting, but I can bust through this. You keep playing the fine folks some echo stuff, and I'm gonna turn on the. Woo, wow. Woo. Oh, what was that? Yeah, man. Come on. All right.
Oh!
Okay, so the next pedal up in our fine collection of pedals that I'm going to play for you right now. I used this pedal exclusively on the Spirit of Hamlet record, and I recorded direct into Pro Tools with this pedal, because this pedal is called the JHS Colorbox version 2. This big white pedal with the red and blue and gray knobs, and it's so killer, and I love it, love it, love it. It is essentially a Neve 1083 mixing console. Yes, we did. We so enjoyed that pizza. So this is a, if you notice, it's got a picture of a mixing console on the pedal right here. So it's basically a Neve 1073 channel strip in a pedal. Why would you need a Neve 1073 channel strip in a pedal?
I don't think that's the right question. I think the right question is, why wouldn't you need that?
Why wouldn't you need one? Woo! So the reason that they make this pedal is so, and you'll notice it has 1/4 inch ins and outs, and it's got XLR ins and outs. So it's essentially a big channel strip right there to plug your guitar right into, which is what I do. And so you can plug it in and you go straight in. And the concept behind the pedal is so many guitar players in the past would, if they wanted a clean tone, instead of getting an amp out and getting the greatest clean tone and putting the greatest clean, nice, neutral microphone on it to capture that, they would actually plug their guitars directly into the mixing console. Hence the Neve 1073. Prince was notorious for doing this. All those Prince clean tones. People say that he would just take his guitar and plug it right into the mixing console. No pedals, no amp, no nothing. And that was how he got that really super, clean, very direct thing. And playing a guitar plugged straight into your recording rig direct is a different feeling because it's so immediate. There's absolutely no air between. There's no delay. There's no sponge. There's no give. There's no anything. It's just like dink, and that's it. So I bought this thing, or should I say the fine people at JHS were kind enough to let me buy this thing. And the greatest part about it, Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, he was notorious for doing that too with the Rick Rubin stuff. Just plug directly into the console, get that really super funky clean thing. So this pedal, if you'll hear, it's got a 3-band EQ that's sweepable. It has what's called a step input for the gain. It has a master and a pre-volume and all that good stuff, and it's got a high pass, and the high pass is cool because it gets super funky. So this is the low input on the lowest. Well, what in the heck happened to my guitar? Why ain't it? Nothing. Did my guitar blow up? Did my amplifier blow up?
Did something happen? Hold on. Oh, the amp's still there. It's just not getting any. Oh, hey. Ha-ha, back cable! So, it has a low and a high input. Has a low and a high switch. This is like low gain and high gain. So that's, this no pedal. That's pedal. Just a little bit, right? But the more you turn the pre-volume up. I mean, come on, man. That's a great overdrive pedal. But you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. 'Cause I'm gonna hit the other switch on this pedal, and it's gonna make it sound like Space Invaders are coming down your chimney. And they're gonna set your house on fire, but all in a good way, because I'm gonna turn up the step gain. All right, you ready? So the step gain is notched. I mean, man, if that's not the greatest overdrive sound, woo, come on. That's like Neil Young all day long, right? You might not be a Neil Young fan, but you're gonna need this pedal because I'm only 2 notches out of 10 up so far. The next notch is gonna come up and I'm gonna have to turn the master input down. Now, I want the fine people to hear the glory of the fuzz. That must be skateboarder. So that. Hold on a second. Listen. Does everybody hear that fuzz and like? Now, when you hit it too hard, right? It'll be like, it like gives, it like chokes. We're not done yet. This is all the way up on the low setting.
And that's your bridge.
Woo! My gosh, let's hit the high pass. You ready? So I'm going to go back down on the step gain and I'm going to turn it to high input. Wow. Now we're going to step it up and I'm going to turn the volume down. It's going to freak out. Woo! It's choking out. Listen. Oh my God, I love it. So you hit it and it like chokes it out so bad and then it comes back. Listen. Coming back. Woo! Oh, that is so nasty. It's high pass and everything. So let's high pass it. Let's get it back to the low input and bring it all the way down and high pass it like the funk. All right. Ah, I'm so white. Woo! Come on, that's good. So anyway, so that's the JHS color box. Go get you one from the fine people at wherever they sell JHS pedals. It's the greatest. It's the craziest effect, and I just run it all DI. I don't even need to run it into an amp. It's just running into an amp now, and it does all that stuff. So the new Spirit of Hamlet record, I use this pedal exclusively, and I use the Bell Epoch Deluxe and a tremolo pedal.
I used this too.
You used it too?
That's what I used.
You did? You did? Yeah, and tripped it out to where it had a
Yep.
bunch of... Abraham's got some crazy, like, reverse sounded echoes on this one song. It's like... Rah, 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 rah. So, anyway. Okay. So, that is my next to last pedal. But, man, we just keep going almost like 2 hours. Let's go. What you got?
All right, next one we've got the Joe Gore Purr Vibrato. I'll let you take the reins talking, and I'll drive.
That's fine. You drive. And I'll
Check
talk.
that out.
What is it? Oh, wow. So this is the Purr Vibrato by Joe Gore. If anybody reads guitar magazines, you know Joe Gore's name as the
I'll hold that up.
as
today.
the
Do we do it
yeah.
in
Let's get the
top
overhead.
row?
Sorry.
Replace that battery for some reason.
We got it. You're right. All right, you got it. You see it? It's that big old silver pedal with one knob, which I love. One knob pedals, just like my $50 fuzz from
Kitty cat.
From what you calls. And so Joe Gore, if you'll notice, Joe Gore was he was the editor-in-chief, I think, of Guitar Player magazine for years and years and years and years. And I would read that magazine. It was great. So my buddy Charlie comes over and he says, hey, man, I got these pedals. If you want to check them out, I'll just leave them here. And I was like, great. And I said, Joe Gore. I said, where do I know that guy's name from? He was a Guitar Magazine guy. And he's like, yeah, he's my buddy. He makes pedals. And I was like, what? And so here lies this pedal today. So we're getting ready to hear the purr, as in the sound of a cat make.
For the first time.
For the first time. Let's hear it. Are we ready?
Whoa.
Oh, that's nice. It's like a harmonic tremolo is pitching. Oh! Yes, sir. Whoa.
Yeah, let's see.
I got myself lost.
That's all.
That is insane. Oh, that's so straight. I like it. So let's see what the max is. Oh! Beautiful. And so that's like a harmonic. It's like a harmonic tremolo, I think. I want to say that's what they call it. Because what you'll notice if you turn it down a little bit, the speed, it's doing this whoa, 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 whoa kind of thing, right? So it's tremolo with a little bit of pitch bend in it, which is like a harmonic tremolo. I have one called a Maggie, which is a lot like that. This is incredible. Wow. Incredible. Incredible. Oh, wow. It sounds incredible. And if you go way down here, like playing Play me some sweet chords. Let me hear some cool chords. Awesome. Beautiful. That's it. Oh. That sounds amazing. All right. So we got it. So Joe Gore just...
Scrabby says he's must have missed it, but he's got to see what guitar I'm playing.
Oh yeah. Look over here and show him. There you go. That would be the PV Wolfgang. I don't even know what year that thing is. Flat top, like not the arch top, but the flat one. It's not even really the special. It's the so killer. Pickups are ridiculous. It's great.
Here, wait, hold on.
All right, I got one last pedal.
If I can turn my amp down a little and get a little gain on it, just
right.
out of curiosity.
Oh! That's great. Somebody said, can I hear a little George Lynch? Only problem about that is our videos get flagged when we play riffs, but you know what? Yeah, you go ahead. Anybody can tell me what song this is.
If I can play it right.
There it is. All right. Sounds great. So there's your George Lynch. Can you tell me the name of that song? That was Not Burning Like a Flame. You are hereby banned from the live stream. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're not. No, it's not burning like a flame.
Who you calling a dummy, you big dummy? You big dummy.
It's not burning like a flame. Come on. If you're gonna ask for some George Lynch, you gotta know the Lynch songs. All right, so that was great. That's a good pedal. All right, so I got one more pedal. One more pedal before cameras run out. And this pedal is called the Clone. K-L-O-N-E. And somebody talked about a centaur, a gold
Scrabby
centaur.
got it. Scrabby knows.
Scrabby knows River of Love, because when we bought that tape, we listened to it in one of our cars, mine or yours. I don't know which one it was, but I remember the day we bought it, and it was really good. So anyway, this pedal is called the Clone, K-L-O-N-E, and is by my good friends at Onkel Amplification, O-N-K-E-L, Amplification. They're on Instagram at Onkel Amplified. Check them out, and they will make you one of these custom Klon replicas, and it is really killer. And hey, it's a lot more affordable than $5,000. So let's see what this rascal will do. The trick to the Klon is that everybody leaves the gain down and they turn the output. Woo. Yeah, man, come on, that's into my clean channel. So without, right? And sorry, my Les Paul is going out of tune like Les Pauls always do.
G string.
I thought it was the G. Maybe it ain't. Maybe it's just me. Maybe my ears are out of tune. So that's bridge pickup, right? So let's go. So everybody would always hit the Klon like gain almost all the way down. Woo! That's gain all the way down and output all the way up. That's pretty ridiculous, right? That's pretty good. I like that. I can hear it clipping something, but I don't care. That's what it's supposed to do. So now what we'll do is we'll go a little back. We'll come down on the output, and we'll crank the gain all the way up. Woo! That's great. Woo, that's nasty. Now, oh, that's great. Man, oh man, that's great. So that's the gain all the way up, guys. So these clones have a different thing than like a tube screamer. Tube screamers are so nasally. And that's into a clean side. So that's my amp clean. Very pleasant, like I want to sing Kumbaya, but I'm not going to. You better go get you one of those. Listen to that A chord. God, dog. So here's what I'm going to do, friends. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to crank this up, and I'm going to hit so now that is my amp, right? That's my amp. Oh, I realize I have a master volume on my amplifier, and I bet it's way down. So that's my amp on channel 2. Which has quite a bit of gain, as you can tell to it. I have the drive up on like 7, so I've turned the drive down. So if you're rocking out with that, or whatever your chord, number 3 chords that you would play, and then you hit this. Friends and neighbors, that is not a bad sounding overdrive pedal. That is one fine sound and pedal combination and amp. And you know the crazy thing is, look, down here on, let me get this shot. Can you get it right here? Oh, I can't. I don't know if I can get it right here. Dang, you can't even see the color of the amp. The color of the pedal and the color of the amp are dang near close. So with this pedal, you'll notice too, it's the color of my 1969 Oldsmobile Delta 88 that I had when I was 16 years old, that I drove at App State with Mr. Mark Scarborough. And it's the exact same color. And he did not know that, but he brought me this pedal. And I've sold a few of these from out of the studio through him. He will make you custom color. He does all his own powder coating. Killer stuff. Did I mention killer? If you're listening to the sound of that. Right? And then off. So it's a pretty driven amp anyway, but you hit it and it's like, there's your grease. All right, so that's my last pedal of the evening. Do you have one more pedal? No. It's not my last one, but it's just the last one I brought up here. Plus, I've been going on and on for almost 2 hours now. Right at 2 hours, and I cannot believe that y'all have watched this at all. But I'm glad that you did. How did I miss that? Awesome. How did you miss that? I'm telling you. You see it, right? All right. Tell them what your last pedal is, Abraham Johnson.
We get a top view.
We can get a top view. Here we go. Oh man, I've been sitting on the stool too long. Lord, jeez, mine, it hurts. Woo!
All right, so. So we've got the Dead Man's Hand Overdrive from Outlaw Pedals if I'm not mistaken.
Tell them about Outlaw Pedals.
I don't know what I know about Outlaw pedals, but I know they make a good pedal.
Yeah, man.
And they make a nice compact pedal.
Don't
with
we have another one by them too?
3 knobs and a switch on it.
Yes.
Come on now. You've
And
got,
and you can put it in your pocket.
yeah, really. You've
And
got
you can put 2 of those in your pocket.
tone level gain and a switch that switches from 8s to aces.
Because you got the dead man's hand, you got to be able to switch between 8s and aces. All right.
So, let's see what happens.
I like it.
There it is.
That's what a tone knob's for. I love it. I love it. We appreciate Skateboarder W. Skateboarder W. Woo! Where's that?
All the way up.
All the way up?
All the way up. So, that's
all right.
aces.
That's aces.
Let's see what 8s is.
Oh, it's kind of thin, but I dig it. Not thin, but...
That's gain all the way down.
There's your output. Wow.
Ooh.
Woo! Man, that's like...
Tone all the way up.
I love it. So that's the thinner side. Hit the other one. Oh wow! So there's
But
like a scoop.
also-
There's like a scoop of some kind, like a massive scoop somewhere.
We're also running into a completely clean amp. So,
That's my guitar buzzing. I'm sorry.
we're all of a sudden not running into a completely clean amp.
It's cool. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Yeah, it's like fuzzing out kind of even. Oh, it's got like this 90s like metal like prong vibe to it or something. It's got like a prong dancing kind of vibe to it. I dig it. Who says all overdrives sound the same? They don't. And that's why you have to buy 50 of them. All right. So that's with your amp cranked up. And the pedal just killing the front end.
Oh! Don't throw that pedal away. All right. All right, Abraham with the last. Says that sounds like it has a little gated fuzz mixed in. Yes, Jason Johnson, it does. It does sound like it's got a little gated fuzz mixed into it, right? For something called the Dead Man's Hand overdrive, you would think it would be like some countryish kind of overdrive or something. I don't know what, but... All right. Hey, that's a pretty great last pedal of the show. The Dead Man's Hand. All the rage for your sweeping arpeggios. What do we pay, like $1.05 for that pedal too? Not $1.05. I probably paid like $0.05. I paid next to nothing. I probably paid $29 for that pedal. That sounds great. Yes! Woo!
Can't even tell the guitar's out of tune.
So much distortion. Yeah, so that's The Dead Man's Hand by, who did we say it was by? Outlaw Effects. Look them up, Outlaw Effects, The Dead Man's Hand Overdrive. I think I also have an Outlaw Effects called The Dumbleweed. I'll have to try that one next week. So, shall we get out of here? All right, y'all. I think it is time. We are out. We want to thank all of you for tuning in again. And we will see you next week for all the hijinks and all the pedals and all the craziness. I probably won't buy a $30 pedal next week, but I might. Don't forget, Spirit of Hamlet record coming out March the something. And the video, look back in the chat. It's got this coming Saturday at 9 a.m. I'm proud of it. I dig it. Thank y'all for watching. My wingman, Abraham Johnson. My intern, Aiden, holding it down. I'm Benji. This is Earthtones Recording Studio. We're out of here.